11. Welcome to HCG. I'm Craig, and to my left or to my right,
I'm Mike.
El Michael.
Yep.
Right. And do you know what I've done? I've not got my notes up ready, so I've fucked up already.
Good start. Good start.
Yeah, so I'll get them. Right, first of all, how are you doing anyway? While I get these up, are you doing all right?
I'm alright. I'm alright. It's Friday. It's a little bit later than we normally do this, but other than that, I'm good.
Well, I've been playing Mr. Plumber, so
But not like Mario or just
no,
real
the
life.
the point where when you walk in and then some woman comes in and goes, "Can I fix your leaky pipes?" and then you
Oh,
have your
that sort of plumber.
you have your ass crack hanging out and
Okay.
no, I've
Yeah.
been I've been fitting the sink.
Mate, no one's watching that.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You would be very, very, very surprised.
Yeah. Wrong kind of pipe cleaning that, mate.
Right then. Yep. So yeah,
You fixed it.
well,
You ready
yeah,
to go now?
I'm ready to go. Bit, well into double figures. Seems like we're getting there with it. I've fiddled around with the stream again. We're actually now live on Twitch. Just to let you know, Mike doesn't know this yet. I'm just dropping a bomb on him.
That would end. We're
So
live
yeah,
on Twitch at the moment.
we're
Okay, cool.
currently live on Twitch. Currently
I
streaming.
hope you have a chat up.
Yeah, I've got the
So you
chats on
can
the
see it.
side there. Yeah.
Right, well, next time you can include me in that.
I'd only just done
So
it.
I
It
can
was a
be
last
like,
minute thing. It was
you
a
know,
last minute
you
thing.
might need. To be fair, I was going to say, at some point in the future, hopefully you'll need moderator help and that sort of stuff. Right now,
I've got
probably
the
not.
perfect guy. Yeah, so if you're listening to us, we're actually live on Twitch now. Again, we'll be popping the video on YouTube, Facebook, all the usual places. I just thought we'll test this out, see how this goes, and see what the.
We should. Probably shooting myself in the foot by saying this, but we should probably get more consistent
Yes,
with time and date that we record,
we should.
which is something we are working on.
Life
Can I
gets in
say
the
it?
way, unfortunately.
Life's a bitch and life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you say
pretty
life or
much.
wife?
Life.
Life. Okay.
For me, life. For others, maybe not.
My wife is not a bitch.
Does she get in the way?
No, she's not here.
Oh well, yeah.
Right.
Fair enough.
Anyway, shall we move on to kind of? Well, actually, no. I'll tell a lie. So I did make a note. I've got myself a new phone. So I've got the Samsung S21 Plus, which just so it. I thought I'll test it out, and I got the Razer Kishi, where you can play the live, like the cloud gaming via your phone.
Jesus, where did that come from? Sorry. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, Mike's just trying to eat his camera there. Yeah, so I
Wow.
bought the Razer Kishi. Yeah, so and I've tried this new phone in it, and it fits brilliantly, like very, very snug now, even with the case on.
Okay.
And obviously the phone's got 5G and so on and so forth, so it seems to run and work so much better now on the fly, like on the go. So I'm quite pleased with that. Like that. Didn't buy the phone for that reason. I just got the phone and I thought, oh yeah, I'll try this out. So I know obviously Samsung are doing collaborations with Xbox, and I've had a Samsung for a long time now. So just
Like on that topic, right? I've been with OnePlus for a long time.
yeah,
The main reason for me for that was because there was a kind of Android mod that you could put on any phone. You can still do that, and the software was pretty good. And OnePlus adopted it as their main software, but then they've kind of moved away from that. But their phone was always classed as a flagship killer or whatever you want to call it, right? So you basically got a powerful phone for cheap. I don't particularly have a problem with OnePlus. I have a OnePlus now.
Yeah.
It's it's fine. Haven't really ever seen a phone that would tickle my fancy to move to someone else, right? Until I saw a phone that's far too expensive, but still,
Which one's this one?
which is the Samsung Galaxy Z3 Fold.
Oh, gate. No, it's not, mate. You don't want one of them. Come on.
Why?
Why? You can't tell me that that thing is gonna last. You cannot tell me the hinge on that thing is gonna survive.
Why not?
You get one then. I'll ask how your phone is in 2 years' time.
I don't think the hinge will be a problem.
They're just a
Because
very. I mean, they're even
no,
they're
just
even almost
because of what things.
advertised for women. She pulls it out of a friggin' handbag and she puts it on the top of the car and she's like doing selfies and dancing and being a clown.
I tell you which one is advertised for women, and that's the Z1 Fold. So that's a standard phone, and it flips down into like a.
You know what they do sideways, so it's almost like tablet-y style.
The tablet is the Z3, which is the
Right,
one I'm interested in. The Z1 is the one where it's a normal phone that just flips like this,
right,
and that actually got invented because women's pockets are too small.
right.
So the women one, yeah, fair enough. But anyone can buy that phone. It's
Do
not
you,
just for women.
do you know what's cheaper?
Before you get a shot off
Well,
Twitch for the first stream.
do you know what's cheaper? Women should just
What?
go out and buy men's trousers.
Mate, honestly, you'd be surprised, right? There's bloody campaigns on the internet and stuff for women's trousers to not have like abnormal sized pockets. That should just have normal pockets.
So we got like norm. Do you know like we have that little Johnny pocket in our trousers? Is that the size of their pocket? Is it? It's that little square.
I like half. It's something to do with the shape and stuff like that. But they're basically, people like they always have. Not always, right? Got to be careful how I word this, but majority of people who are female use their phone in their back pocket,
Yeah, it
right?
winds me
And
up.
it winds me up rotten, right? Because of sitting on it, it falling out and you don't notice it. It's not very well protected. Pickpocketers' wet dream, let alone touching your ass. And the only reason why that is because their front pockets are too small.
Right, right.
They can't fit a phone in it. Until that was told to me, I was like, oh, maybe I would put it in my back pocket if I didn't have a front pocket big enough. But anyway, to the point, the Z3 Fold is the more tablet style one.
Right, okay.
And that is the only reason why, is because I use my phone quite a lot. To be fair, I don't particularly, apart from social media related stuff to do with this channel, I don't particularly use social media that much, but for using stuff like YouTube content and other things that I watch on it and everything else, and daily driving of websites and stuff, I look at it a lot. Would I
Right.
buy a tablet, or have I bought a tablet in the past? Yes. Do I ever use them? No, because
Right.
they're not in my pocket.
Fair enough.
But they're very expensive.
Yeah, they're about. I don't know if
Like
it
a
was that
grand.
one. Well, I seen I think the one you're on about. I'd seen it, and it was about 1,500.
There's ones for 1,500.
Well, I bought the
And then
S21.
there's ones. So I don't, oh no, it is. It is. So the Z.
It's
Oh, the Z.
about 1.5. I'm sure it is.
I actually got that wrong. So the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 is this, half a phone,
Right.
and the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 is the fold open like a book.
Right.
Yeah. So Flip is 999 list, and Fold 3 is 1.5 grand.
Yeah. Well, the S21 Plus that I've just bought was a grand to buy outright.
Yeah.
But so I've bought the phone outright, but I put my old phone in for it, and Samsung gave me £300 for my S10. So
Okay.
I got £300. It only cost us like 700 quid.
Yeah.
So
So like for me, Like, I bought my 7 Pro or whatever it is, OnePlus 7 Pro, around the £800 mark, I think it was when it came out. Phones are pretty expensive, so
Yeah.
it would have to do something significantly different than what I've got for me to spend that sort of money on it. But to be fair, I personally think £1.5 grand for a phone is way too much money.
Yeah.
It really is, because you can go and buy a Google Pixel phone for like 300 quid.
And the crap.
They probably are, but for the majority, yeah, they don't flip, but they probably do the majority of the stuff you'd want them to do.
They are really bad. The actual operating system on them is like slow and glitchy. Like they're as bad as the Windows phones for
It's probably as bad
freezing
as the Chrome
stuff like that.
laptops
I had
that are
I
basically
had a
just.
Windows phone. I loved it. I loved my Windows phone, but it was so glitchy, so bad.
Yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
were some
They're
aspects of it good.
not
The
winning that
S10,
race.
the S10 was probably the best phone I've ever had. I've just moved on to this obviously S21 Plus, so it's very similar in a way with obviously a lot more features. The battery is like over double
Yeah.
the
The
capacity
only the only
previously.
thing with Samsung that I wish they would go away from is remove the bloatware.
The thing is though, so when I got my very first Samsung, whatever it was back in the day, all the bloatware stuff, you can disable it, uninstall it, and do all that.
Yeah.
And then the moment you do that the first time round, as long as you do a backup when you get your new phone and you log in using your Samsung Pass, what
Yeah.
it does is it passes through all the disables, all the uninstalls, so it gets rid of all the bloatware again straight away.
All right. Okay. So
So
there's ways and means around it. Yeah.
yes, as soon as you've done it once on one, so that as you go through series of phones, it just continues to get rid of everything that you've told it not to put on, put your backgrounds on again, all your apps and so on and so forth. But yeah, shall we move on to gaming news anyway? Should we
Why not?
should we push on? Let's push on. Right. So I did make a couple of notes that I wanted to chat about. So I'll quickly run through the headlines. I think I've only got 3 on there. So I've got FIFA 22, the new Xbox dashboard and PC app update, which I know we've kind of briefly spoke about anyway, and Diablo 2.
Yeah, I've got a couple to add with a comment on PlayStation Plus,
Right.
Battlefield Mobile. If you didn't know anything about this.
No, keep go. Keep. Have you got any more?
And Chocobo Racing.
Chocobo racing. Yes. You just call it
Yes.
Chocobo.
I just call it
Man.
Chocobo. I have no idea why I just call it Chocobo, because I know it's Chocobo Racing, but
Yeah,
never
you've
mind.
probably got it
Whatever.
written in front of you.
First time ever that I've read it, probably.
Right, so I'll rattle off the 3 anyway. I don't want to spend too long on
No,
them
just
anyway. So
go for it.
FIFA 22. So if you didn't know, the 10-hour trial is now part of EA Access, which is if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you should know that you also gain access to EA Access. So you'll have that there ready to download and play as from yesterday. So get yourself on, as soon as you hear this now, get yourself on there and get that downloaded. Now, I've played, I know obviously we like to talk about games we played, but I just want to quickly go. I've played the tutorial game at the beginning, which is very long. Usually it just starts you in a game, doesn't it? And just you throw, that's it, you're going. This time round, what they've done is they've kind of dropped you in the streets. So you're in the streets of, I forget now. I forget where it was, but you run around the streets and there's guys walking across the street and stuff, and you're weaving in and out of them and following this woman and basically learning the controls that way. You do little different things. You go into the stadium. You do a couple of the skill games that you did in the previous games. You do a couple of the little skill games, and then it drops the character you're playing as then goes up into one of the boxes, and you then drop straight into a game and start playing a game. Not as that character, but as the other
As everyone.
characters. Yeah, of what is he's watching it.
Yeah.
Graphics wise, I tell you what, there's been some I'm playing on the Series X, and graphics wise, it is really, really nice.
Okay.
I mean,
Do you think that's an optimized thing for Series X, or do you think people of the
I do think it's
last
across.
gen will
I think
see it
I
good?
think it's across the board. So I do think you will see it on the last gen as well, but definitely on the
Find out.
Series
I'm gonna
X.
try
Obviously, there's a
on
lot
trial.
more. Um, there's a few new little things on there that, like one of the new features I wanted to kind of talk about was when you press in, I think it was both sticks, you press the left stick, thumbstick and the right thumbstick at the same time. What it does is it locks on a player, so the player who's got the ball. But then what you can do is you can flick the right stick and you can automatically choose a different player, and it's then you're almost like playing Be a Pro, because then the say if you flick away from the guy who's got the ball, the AI then takes over that player. You can then move the other player that you're controlling into any space you want or make a run, and then you can call for the ball using Y for through ball, A for a normal pass, or like lob pass or whatever. Which is, it seems all right, but my God, trying to do that in the middle of a fast-paced game and stuff. And remember, if you press those two and you flick this way and you're doing all that, honestly, I was lost. I couldn't do it. Couldn't physically do it. But yeah,
Fair enough.
that's FIFA 22. Get yourself on there, give that a good go. I will get back on there because I do like to try it out and see what it's like. Hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, it is a lot better than the predecessors. Moving on, so we've got the dashboard and PC app update. Now the PC app update, as we've previously spoken about, you can now do stream from your Xbox console to your PC. If you've been watching any of our streams or any of our videos, you'll notice I've been doing that already and doing some recordings. So that's a good little feature, especially if you want to start doing your own streams or recordings or whatnot on your PC. Cloud gaming is also now available on PC, the PC app. So what that means is not only can you stream straight from your Xbox, bearing in mind that game or app has to be installed on that Xbox, you can now launch a game just via the cloud, so there's no need to install it at all now. So you can try games out, and if you like it, and say your internet's not the best, you can just quickly try them out, play through a little bit, and then decide you want like it, so you want to install it. So there's that side of it. There's now also a play later list on, I think it's on both Xbox and the PC, so you can generate and create your own, what is it, sort of playlist basically. You can just, if there's loads of games you want to play but you don't want to install them all, just so you don't forget, you can keep adding up this playlist and then play through them one at a time as you see fit. Because we all know that obviously the Series X has its own internal 1 TB hard drive, and the option to also use the plug and play 1 TB, very expensive memory card in the back. And failing that, you can use an external hard drive, but they will not play Series X games. So this kind of helps, alleviate that a little bit, where if you can generate this list and play them as you see fit. We know later in the year that there is going to be the ability to do cloud gaming via the console as well, which again will help this issue that people are having. But
Yep.
one thing I cannot, stress enough is make sure your console is connected via a network cable to stop any latency problems. All these little issues, so latency problems. What's the other, the one, because you have an issue, don't you? I don't know whether you're connected via network cable or not.
I am these days.
Yeah, you get a lot of the issues with the strict NAT and stuff like that if you don't. If you don't, usually if you don't connect it up via network, it's not foolproof. It's not going to get rid of it, but it will help.
It can do.
Yeah.
It depends on like your wireless kind of connectivity stuff. But I think the main one from that is that if you have to use Wi-Fi, then you want it to be at least 5G.
Yes.
It has to be
Definitely.
5G. Otherwise, you're just not going to get a good enough signal.
Yeah. In fact, the
Or
5
well, speed.
gigahertz from the router.
Yeah, 5G,
Yeah.
5 gigahertz for the router. At one point of that would probably make, some people might not know. Sometimes a lot of routers just push out one SSID, so one ID to log into. But it's actually both. It's a 2.4 and a 5 on the
Yeah, you
same
can go into
channel.
the router and split those.
Yeah, you can go in the router and split it, and that would be my suggestion.
Yeah,
To be
because
fair.
I have to do that on mine to get that to work.
Yeah,
Um,
I've had it before in the past where you think you're on 5G, but you're not.
yeah, it'll just jump to the whichever one is the best, the strongest one at the time. So if you start moving away from your router, it'll drop you onto the 2.4 because it's got a further
Yeah,
range, a wider
it'll do
range.
that, but it also doesn't always do it back the way. So if you've dropped into 2.4G, like because you've gone slightly further away,
Yeah,
it might not put you back onto 5G when you move back.
yeah,
You just have a device that's not on that, so it's just been wary of it and stuff like that.
yeah. The
It does
last,
have it does have a good thing on the Xbox of kind of running through it. It lets you test it
right.
and tell all these things, doesn't it?
Yeah, there is some good little
When you do the
run
remote play
throughs
thing,
there.
it does test it for you. Yeah.
Yeah. The last thing part of the update was Microsoft Edge is finally getting a um, full change over there on the console. Now, one of the good features is when you're in a game, so Ubisoft or as we've known, Minion Masters or anything like that that we've been playing, you click on something and it says it's going to take you out of the game and into the web browser. And we know, and probably everyone else knows, that the web browser is absolutely shocking on the console. Now, I've briefly shot that on just before the stream, and it looks a lot better, a lot more polished, a lot more user-friendly for controllers. The flip side of this is also it's allowing for mouse control. So you can now, if you've got a mouse connected either wirelessly or via USB, you can use
Yeah.
that on Edge. So you can use internet browsing on your TV, basically. The other good thing I wanted to point out is the fact that when you do play a game and it takes you out of, say you were going on, I think achievements, good example. So if you want to go on achievements, you can click on hints or provide, give me a walkthrough of how to get this achievement. There's a little ability in there to do that. When you click on it, it takes you to like trueachievements.com or whatever it's called. You know, it takes you to one of those sites. Now, how can you use that and play the game at the same time? You can't really, because
Yeah.
the Xbox doesn't allow for snappable features, not anymore anyway. So what
Not
they've
like
done,
overlays or anything. Yeah.
no. So what they've done is you can now beam that from your Xbox to your mobile phone, to your tablet, whatever you've got set up at the time, and it'll go. There you go. There's that web page now, and you can keep playing your game.
So I've got a question on that then. How does it do the transfer across? Like, is it within the Xbox app?
Haven't tested it yet. I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure, so that's something
Okay.
I do want to kind of test out to see how that works. I'm assuming through the Xbox app because that's the only way the Xbox
It
has.
would know.
Yeah, it doesn't have any sort of direct contact with your phone other than the app, does it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
That
assuming it
would
would
be
go
my
through there.
way that I think it would do it. Um, which is fine if it does it that way. It just means that you're only going to be able to fire it to something that has the Xbox app.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but that's fine.
yeah. The last thing I'm going to mention, and then before I hand it over to you, Mike, is Diablo 2. Now I know we do talk about a lot of Game Pass games, because it's under a subscription, so technically I feel like we get them for free, so we play a lot more of those at the minute. But if you have not played a Diablo game, Diablo 2 remastered or remake, or I think it's called Resurrection, I think it's called, is available.
Did
Resurrected is available to purchase on the console at the moment. So this will get you in the mood for Diablo 4, which is due out. I didn't actually check when it's due out. I don't know if it's later this year or going into the beginning of next year. But basically, if you haven't played any Diablo, this is a very good place to start. Between this and Diablo 3, they're both very similar in the way. So that was it. It was just a brief, just to let you know that that's available. Get you to get out there and get that.
Yeah. One of the things I will say on that note is that they're having a few problems with the release of connectivity issues and a bunch of other stuff.
What's that? I'm sorry.
On Diablo 2.
Right. Okay.
It's just a report back from it that basically saying that like creating lobbies or trying to play online and people are getting disconnected and they're having characters temporarily deleted and a few other things. Now, Blizzard and Diablo games have been around for a long time. If they've got that kind of problem, they'll fix it relatively quickly. So I just wouldn't hold if you go on and experience a bad situation from it. I mean, if they don't fix it by next week and we have another one of these, I'll be telling them. I'll be not telling them, but I'll be making a very blind comment that they should have fixed it by now. But generally speaking, I played Diablo, all of them. I've played 3 for quite some time, and I'm sure they'll get on top of it. So don't let that hinder your experience, I would say.
No. Just quickly, I know I'm going to pass it on to you there, Mike, but just had a look there. It looks as though Diablo 4 doesn't actually have a confirmed release date. Now, people are saying it's rumoured to be next year, but it even could fall into the year after, which is bollocks. I don't like it when they start announcing games that are in next year, even the year after. I think that's just taking the piss.
I know we've got other things to talk about, right? But just because we're on this, I'm going to ask you a question.
Go on.
Why is everyone remastering everything?
Because at the moment, I know the answer. I know the answer to this. So at the moment, while there's been issues, especially while there's been issues with COVID and stuff, everybody's on the same page internationally. As we know, it's easier to pick up the game that is already pre-built now and push that back. There's not a lot of work that has to go into it to kind of recode it, remaster it, and so on and so forth. There's still a lot of work, but nothing in comparison to a whole new game. So it's easier to do that, push that out, generate a bit of revenue, especially to help push towards they're still paying for a studio, they're still paying for like some sort of overheads and whatnot. So
you think they're doing
that.
it,
and it's to keep people alive, keep people alive for like Diablo 2. They might remaster Diablo 3 before 4 comes out. You don't know. Do you know what I mean? They might just keep.
I get that. I kind of get that. Like, I can understand you remastering something if because of COVID you need an influx of cash. It's a relatively good way of doing it, right? I get that. Fair enough. But it seems to be at the expense of the next one coming out.
Yes.
So Diablo 4 coming out maybe next year.
Yeah.
Or possibly the year after. It would almost definitely be next year if they hadn't have remastered Diablo 2.
So I see the flip side of this as someone who, I work with money and so on and so forth. So it may be that, they've possibly got money, but it's a cash flow problem or a cash flow issue where they need to generate more cash quicker. So their game might be selling all the way through the year. As you know, when a game comes out, it peaks at the top at the start, and then it will just slowly come down, and then they might get just this steady little line, and it will keep coming down of this money coming in. What they need now is an injection, right, to get something over the line to help them, push some more people into getting this next game done. Best way to do it, remaster something you've already got, because everybody knows people are going to buy it.
Is it a warm up?
Well, it's
because they haven't made a Diablo game for a while, have they?
No, that's what I mean.
So maybe it's a warm up before they make the next one.
They're gonna need some cash, definitely Blizzard.
But
that's side of the studio. Sorry,
I get where you're coming from, but is it? I can understand in a game studio that possibly being a situation, right?
Yeah.
I can get that completely. But it's also bordering on the line of copping out in some situations. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because there's talks of GTA 5's being remastered for Gen 5, for the new gen consoles.
Sorry.
You've
not put that in your notes. Have you heard about GTA 5? So
I know of the game.
yeah, GTA 5 is being remastered currently for Xbox consoles like the Series X and the
And S.
PS5 and so on and
Yeah,
so
the
forth.
PS5. Yeah,
Do you know it's been delayed?
yeah,
You knew it's been delayed.
yeah.
That to me is hilarious.
But
A
right,
game that's already out, a game that's already built, a game that you're just remastering has now
I
been
know.
delayed.
Like this is what I'm talking about, right? So you're talking about Rockstar Games, right?
Yep.
A company that have made bajillions off GTA 5 from the online player base and people buying money in that game. They even openly admitted they
Yeah, the
made more
shark
money from the
cards.
online version and shark cards and stuff like this, right? Making a fortune, right? Who made the last game they made was, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Red Dead Redemption 2, or at least mainstream title game was Red Dead Redemption 2, which has been out for quite some time and hasn't had any major updates for quite some time.
No, because they can't get the
And
they can't get the player base, can they?
well, okay, can't get the player base in that game, so they maybe
They split
you
out
know
they
they should
split out
either
the multiplayer.
yeah, yeah, which is they've split out the multiplayer because they're trying to do the same thing on that they did in GTA,
Yeah.
right? But that's a company that unless COVID has affected them, right, should have money.
Yeah.
They're remastering GTA 5 that I can't believe is delayed, like you're saying, because that's insane, right? And they're also remastering the other three. Well, there's rumors of them remastering the other three as a trilogy. Why? I don't want to play GTA 3 remastered.
Yeah.
I want to play GTA 6. What I want to see is right. I just have a Xbox X, right? I don't have the next gen one, right? And one of my major reasons for not having one is because no one really is making that many games for them that requires them. I want to see a GTA 6 that pushes the envelope a little bit in a new console.
Yeah.
Don't waste it. Don't,
Uh,
I think it's a money flip. I think that on a lot of them they just realize, oh, actually, some of these guys have flipped them, maybe for a genuinely good reason to flip a game and remaster it and push it out again.
yeah.
I think they're all
The,
seeing that they're making money from it
I
and it's
mean,
easy to do, so they just do it.
yeah, they are going to make money off it. Let's be honest, they will make the money off it. But
Why is it even? Why not just enhance it?
well, that,
Like, what's the point?
they'll
Is
probably
is it
add
just
they'll
an
probably
enhanced
add more to
version of
it.
it, or is it remastered?
I think it's a remaster, but I think they will add a little bit more in there to it. Make it's the load screens, get all that type of shit sorted out, so it's a bit quicker and whatnot.
Nonsense.
Probably
Nonsense.
they'll probably add a bit more, like more that's like the multiplayer side and stuff. I don't know.
I
Anyway,
don't know. I just have an opinion of it at the moment. I just feel like there's too many games that's being remastered. Make some freaking new ones, man.
aye, shut that on the back burner. We'll come back to that.
Eat it.
Yeah, get come on then. What have you got? What have you got to contribute this week?
Another one, just because I'm clearly bitching about that wasn't really Xbox, but um, PS Plus have a deal at the moment, very similar to the Xbox One. Lets users get 1 month for $1.
Right.
However, 1 month for $1, not to existing people.
Right.
This is the weird thing. This is the weird thing. So if you're currently subscribed, you don't get another month for $1, right?
Right.
If you have previously subscribed, but your subscription has lapsed,
Yeah.
then you can pay $1 and get it for a month,
But
right?
yeah, sorry, go on. I'll let you finish.
And only for the month, and only in the US.
Oh, that's a bit shit. I will say that what's it called? Game Pass does that though. If you let it lapse, they will actually offer you to renew for £1 for a month. Only once it's lapsed.
I get them doing it as an incentive to draw people back. I get that. I get that point. What I don't get is why it's only in the US.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
They just not care about
bizarre.
the other countries.
We don't exist.
Well, clearly not. We do to some other manufacturing companies, but not to that one. But anyway, so anyone who's listening who happens to be in the US, chat on $1. Get on with it. I mean that's like 80 pence a year,
$1.
70 pence a year.
$1.
$1. Which is pretty cool. Apart from the stupid part. Battlefield's coming to mobile.
Right.
It was announced quite some time ago, confirmed by EA earlier this year, but there's basically been some gameplay footage has been leaked online. Just search for Battlefield mobile gameplay. You'll see some kind of footage, but surprisingly enough,
we'll pick that up and we'll pop that on Facebook, our Facebook page and whatnot, and it's just for people to have a little look at.
Have a look at it. I think the only comment I'd make on it is that it actually has like destructive buildings and looks very similar to Battlefield, just like a rendered down version of it. Plays very similar to like Call of Duty Mobile does. But yeah, that was cool. One to keep an eye out on at the moment. Other news from me is Final Fantasy racing game Chocobo GP is coming to Switch next year.
Right.
Bit of a surprise announcement.
On the Switch?
Nintendo. On the Switch. Came
All
from
right.
Nintendo Direct. Yeah, we don't just support Xbox on here. Chocobo GP comes in the light of fans missing the old Chocobo racing game. So they've basically just made that announcement, which is cool. If no one's ever seen or heard of Chocobo racing from the Final Fantasy range, there's old school versions of it that you can kind of check out and stuff at the moment, but it's a pretty unique racing game. So with all the Final Fantasy characters and stuff, so all good stuff. And my last one.
Sorry, I'll just quickly stop there. I've just been looking at some gameplay footage of that Battlefield. That looks pretty decent. That like, I've shared that on our page. So if anybody wants to see that, it looks pretty cool. So it shows you the obviously the controls on the screen, some of the tanks and vehicles and whatnot. A bit of destruction in there. So just have a little pop along and have a little nosy at that.
For a mobile version of the game, I was actually quite surprised. I was worried it would be like a watered down version.
Yeah.
And it potentially is, but it doesn't look too bad at all, which is cool. Last but not least is for all those boxing fans out there with Joshua's fight tomorrow. There is a new boxing game on the cards coming to console and PC. It's called ESBC, or Esports Boxing Club.
Right.
It's currently in development. They're hoping it's going to come out at the end of this year. I've had a look at some of the footage and stuff, and to be fair, it looks really good. They've got 100 licensed boxers at the moment, and 7 of the championship titles that are all official in it. And they've made it as an actual, or try to be quite a simulated boxing game. So you've got stamina to think of. The actual guys fight differently depending on who you are, and you've got to be careful. Like, you can't just go and button bash. You're just gonna get smashed by someone who knows what he's doing. Graphics look amazing.
That'd be me. Smashing the buttons.
No, graphics look amazing. Gameplay looks really good. Quite excited about that one. I think it'll be good. I think we've missed I can't believe the Fight Night stuff from EA Sports didn't continue. Like, boxing games were good, and then
Yeah,
they just
well,
didn't bother making anymore. But someone has, so thanks to them, you can enjoy it in a couple of months' time, hopefully. But check that out. That was Esports Boxing Club. Give it a check out.
get yourself on there and have a nosy at that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you up for news then? Are you happy?
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good.
So obviously this part of the show we usually quickly chat about what we've been playing. It's been a bit of a slow week. Well, actually no, it's not been a slow week. We've just spent a lot of our time playing the same game.
I was just
So
gonna say the same thing. Yeah.
yeah, so this
Absolutely.
week I have played. Obviously, you know, I've played FIFA 22, the 10-hour trial there. So I've played a
Yeah.
little bit of that, and I've also had a couple of hours into Superliminal.
Oh yeah. You see
Um,
on your FIFA trial,
yes,
you know if you dashboard out to do something else and it
yeah.
stays running, does it count your time down?
It used to, yeah, but a couple of years back there was an issue where it did do that, and then they sorted people out and helped, give them back so many hours. They've sorted that now, so when you dashboard out, it clears that off,
What's
it
this,
locks
a
it off.
timer or whatever?
Yeah,
Ah, right. Okay, cool. I just
it
wanted to
shuts it
check
down
so
because I
people
think I had
people
the
are
issue.
aware.
I had the issue once. I might have been playing with you. I can't remember where we were playing a game, and I know me and you had the trial version. And then I thought, oh, I'll check. Do you know you can usually check something on your dashboard and then go back to the game and continue playing. I went to the dashboard to check a download or something, and then when I went, I think you might have went, where? Or maybe it was, I can't remember it was you or somebody else. And it was like, where have you gone? Where have you gone? I was like, what are you on about? Just checking something on the dashboard. What have you quit
What do
for? I
you
was like,
mean
I've not quit.
someone
I've
else?
not quit. I
What do you
do.
mean someone? You
I
play
do
games
play
with
with
anyone
other
else?
people. It's not just you.
Do you?
Yeah,
News to me.
yeah. I get
That should
around.
have been
I
the
get
news.
around a bit.
That should have been the news headline this week.
I get around a bit. Don't. I wear protection. Don't worry. So yeah, I've been playing on Superliminal as well.
I think I know the title.
I'll let you put that one in. Make sure you write it down, otherwise you forget. Um, yeah, if you don't know what Superliminal is, it's
Yeah.
like an escape room game. If you've played them type of games on your mobile phone, um, it's that kind of thing, but it's all to do with what's the word in here? So it's like physics
Depth
and
perception, isn't it?
yeah, depth perception. So if you pick up a box that's really tiny in front of you, but then you lift it up and you're looking at the sky, at the ceiling or something, it looks like it could potentially be, that like massive, but it's right in front of you. Then when you let go of it, it falls. You can do things like you can pick the moon out the sky, and then when you bring it close to you, it's just a little ball. Things like that.
It does the opposite. It does the opposite to what it is when you drag it away. It's almost like a slider, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if you grab something that's tiny that's away from you, and then pull it towards you, it gets bigger. Effectively.
Not when it's close, it tends to be smaller. It's where you drop it from. So
Okay.
when it's like a 50p coin, or let's say tennis ball. Everyone knows, just in case you're from a different country. So a tennis ball, right? You've got a tennis ball in front of you, right? But then say you move that tennis ball in the distance, right? When you drop that tennis ball, although it's the same size away from you as it is close to you, yeah. When it's away from you, when it's the same size, there, it's like it should actually be, it should be like an ant, it should be like a speck, but it doesn't. It stays the same size. So when you let go of it, you can see it just getting bigger as it's coming towards you. That type of thing.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. So it actually takes um the depth perception, but then keeps the same.
Yes.
It's basically scaling it up to
Yes.
the same size as it would be as if it was close to you.
Yeah.
But
So
therefore
it's a bit like a puzzler.
it's a cool game.
It's really good.
I've
Yeah.
I've seen some gameplay. I watched your video as well, and it's a unique game. Something that's really interesting if you have played it before is to watch. There's a speed run of it online where the devs
Right.
watch the speedrunner do it, and it's
Well,
hilarious.
there
It's
is an
really good.
achievement for finishing it in under 35 minutes. So I don't
I
know
think
it.
this guy did it in ridiculous, like in
I
10
don't
minutes
know
as
as
well.
well if there's like little secret paths and other little ways you can go. I'm assuming there will be.
I've seen a few things where people like put certain things down and like jumped over walls and stuff.
Oh yeah, I've done that. I jumped over a wall on one of mine. I think I jumped on a ledge last night when I was playing it. Rather than, I
Yeah.
think you're supposed to build these blocks up, and then I went, hang on, if I build this block high enough, jump on this little lip that's on the wall, and I did it. And you can run. You have to you have to keep snug against the wall, and you can literally just run across this ledge. And then I jumped over into the next section.
The
So,
speedrunning community, maybe you found one they didn't.
but yeah, that's Superliminal anyway. Minion Masters. Now, this is one we've both played, and we've played
Yeah.
a hell of a lot of it.
Surprisingly, we played
See,
a hell of a lot of it as well.
yeah, we've ploughed a small amount of money into it.
Yeah.
It's not pay to win. It was just more so for,
It's a free to play game.
yeah.
I
I'll
have
let
no
you.
objection.
I'll let you describe the game. Let you go on. We'll see if you can keep it under 10 minutes.
Minion Masters free to play game, card based summoning of minions. You're at one side, enemies at the other side, and you've both got to summon minions and attack each other, and whoever kills the other one first wins. That's pretty much the game. Does that
Bloody
cut you
hell!
off?
I sure you don't want to keep going.
I'm joking.
I was just
It's
going
quite
to say, describe it. There's a game, wasn't there, on the mobile, and I can't remember what it was called. 'Cause you remember it was always advertised, wasn't it? Like after TV programs and stuff, where it was very similar, where you were dropping things down. It wasn't really card based as such, but you were dropping things down, and you used to cross a bridge, and you had to blow their
I mean,
tower
like
up.
Clash of Clans or something.
Clash of Clans, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So it was very much like Clash of Clans. They've just
Clash
taken
and
it.
Clans had it the other way around, so it was like from the bottom of the
Yeah,
screen
it was
up.
up,
You had to
up.
drop minions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
you've
is
effectively got two
horizontal.
bridges. Yeah, you've got two bridges, so two ways to get across. So you can either drop them on the top lane or bottom lane. You've got to defend from you getting kind of destroyed and stuff. There's lots of cards. You kind of create your own deck, and you can kind of uniquely put cards together. And there's also different masters and stuff like this. I'll be honest with you, I told Craig to kind of have a look at it because kind of wanted something that was a little bit strategical, with the fact that console games don't really have many RTS games on them that I want to play. Wanted something that fast paced, didn't take too long. We can mess about on. What average game time of a round is like 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yeah, it can go up to
or
like
less
5 minutes, and then when it gets to 5 minutes, I think that's when by that point you've usually unlocked the unlimited mana
You
pool.
unlock the
So
like unlimited mana, so you can cast as many cards as you want. So it kind of has a cap to how much time you've got.
yeah,
But yeah, it's a free to play game. Now in free to play games, I'm not against people spending a bit of money in buying something that's towards that game because you've not spent any money on it. That's the whole point.
yeah,
So my opinion of stuff like that is they do make a lot more money probably that way, but my opinion of it is if that game to you was in a shop for 20 quid or $20 or whatever it is, and that's the value it would be to you, then maybe spend that amount of money on the game when you're in the game.
yeah,
You don't have to go overboard with it. We haven't. We bought the battle pass because we felt like that was actually justifiable in the cost. It didn't cost us very much to do that. I think it was about 4 quid or something. And that's giving us extra stuff and extra cards and stuff that we wanted. And I think the only other thing might be to unlock like 1 or 2 of the characters if we like favorite characters. You can pay like £16 and unlock like a lot of stuff. If you want to do that. So you have choices, but you're not forced down any of these roads. You can it's up to you what you want to do. And you definitely don't need them to play the game.
definitely not. No. Yeah, it's a very good game. I would highly recommend people going and just checking it out. Give it a few minutes of your time. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But if you like strategic games, then yeah, it might be one for you.
It's got a solo game, 1v1, and it's got a duos. So me and Craig have been taking on 2 other people. I find the 2v2 much better than the solo. I think it's more fun.
Yeah.
And recently I've been doing some of the, if you're playing on your own, the challenges are pretty good. They're quite easy, but the challenges are not too bad. And then the adventure mode I've been playing recently, and that's actually quite good. that throws some extra spanners in the works for playing against people and stuff. And yeah, you have to pick different heroes and stuff, so you get to try out some of the new
Well,
masters.
I will add, I streamed it the other night. I don't know if you knew I was streaming. So I streamed that the other night, and I've got the
Saw the
recording.
stream. I didn't know you were streaming.
So I've recorded it, and I've put a couple of highlights on our Facebook page just before this stream now, and also the full stream. So if you just want to check it out, watch the couple of highlights, because they're very quick. The highlights I've put on, there were our very quick wins at the end. I don't know if you remember those, Mike. 1 minute 9 seconds, I think one was, and 1 minute 30. So if you want to check those out, they're on there. The full stream's on there. That's over an hour long. Just you can scan through that and have a little nosy, see what you think. So yeah, they're available for you to watch either via Facebook. They're also going to be on our Twitch channel. If you're watching on here now, so yeah.
Might become an official streamer for him.
Maybe.
I only say that because there's some connection with streamers on it. I've not fathomed that bit out yet, but when we do, we'll see what we can do with it.
Because we can do drops and all sorts of stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right, moving on to. Oh, have you got any more games you've played? Sorry, I did look on the notes and I couldn't see another one.
No.
Nope. So moving on to our new little section. We decided to put each other in a nice position and test each other. And basically, I want Mike to take his hands off his keyboard because I can see him typing away. So I know he's not cheating.
I'm not. No, I'll take my hands away. I'm getting my question.
You got to sit like this.
You
got to sit like this. Right, so we're going to just drop a little quiz. We're going to run this over a few weeks. We could even run up to the end of the year, really. I mean, we've only got a few months left, and do this as a kind of a quarterly seasonal thing, and so you can get the most points at the end of it. We'll just see how it goes anyway. So, my question to you, Michael, is all based around what we've been talking about today, and that is Diablo numero 1. So what I want to know is, in what year was Diablo released?
Right.
Right? It's multiple choice, right? So you've got 1995, 1996, or 1997. Right, and you can have a little think about this if you want. Oh, sorry, I've just lost the stream there. You can have a little think about this if you really want to. But you're not allowed to. No cheating now.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm thinking of my question for you because I was ill prepared. I'm going to say. So 95, 96, or 97. That was the multiple choice, right?
Yes, the choices.
I'm going to say 97.
You're going to say 97?
Yeah.
And you would be correct to say 97.
Oh,
well
that
done,
was
Mike.
a pure guess.
Well done.
Well,
it was a 33% chance to get it right, so it wasn't too hard. We should have like fanfare now.
We need that for the stream.
Yeah.
Do like gaming mode versus and everything. We'll do that at some point. Yeah, that was a bit of a bit of a guess. Apart from I played Diablo 1. Right. We played Diablo 1, and the year I was born, I just guessed of it being probably a little bit later.
I'd have had it more 95. To be fair, I think if I'd have guessed it.
Yeah,
looking at the back of it, I remember playing.
That would have been really early.
I remember playing games like Flight Simulator, 95 and things like that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it was around that time, but I was possibly still playing Flight Simulator 95 or in 97. So, very quickly, while Mike's looking or sorting his question out, because as he said, he was a bit ill prepared. I would like to one day sit and do. Michael knows what this is. It's kind of like a knockout tournament-esque type of thing where we will just sit and discuss certain games, pit them up against each other, and see who comes out on top. I think that would be a good little kind of game filler, little chat thing to discuss and debate and probably shout at each other and argue until we're black and blue and we've got the game that is on top. But that will be something good to do. Are you ready?
Yeah. I'm gonna give you this one that I think is pretty cool. I say cool. It's not, but
go for it.
It's one. What is the best-selling games console of all time?
Of all time?
Your choices are
yeah.
the
I've got one in my head.
First Nintendo, so NES.
Yeah.
NES. The PS2.
Yeah. Don't say what you're going to say now. He's thinking about
it. First Xbox.
Right. If you'd have said, right, I'll tell you this now. If you'd have said the Wii, if you'd have put that in there, right, I'd have been torn between that and the PlayStation 2. So on that basis, I'm going to say the PlayStation 2. Was that correct there, was it?
Correct answer. PlayStation 2.
I seen your mouth move, but nothing came out.
Clocking in at 159 million units sold.
If you just said the Wii U, honestly, I'd have the Wii. Sorry,
the Wii. The Wii U didn't sell that many. Mate.
No. If you just said the Wii though, that's got to be one of the consoles up there. I think that is definitely.
I don't know. I'm gonna find out where that would have been.
So while my Quickly fans are out, so that we're just going to kind of do that every week. I think something set along those lines to kind of, as I say, see who comes on top at the end of Christmas. I think that'll be a cool little thing to do.
You were quite far away with the Wii.
Am I? Does it have like a leaderboard of where they all are or not?
PlayStation 2 was first.
Yeah.
One after that was, which is a bit of a cop out in my opinion, is the Nintendo DS family. So it's like all of them.
Right. Yeah.
So I could understand that. Next one down.
Switch.
That Game Boy. Or Game Boy Color.
Oh yeah.
Then it was the PlayStation 4.
Really? Right. Okay.
Then it was the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Then it was the Wii.
Yeah.
Then the Switch.
If you'd have said to me, that'd have been a good one, PlayStation 1, 2, or 3. I'd be like, what?
Or which order?
Yeah. Oh, which one's the best selling?
Which one's the best seller? PlayStation 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Right.
I might have some others with this one.
Right, on that one anyway, we are currently sat at almost 59 minutes. So I will obviously cut us short there. Well, not short, but we'll cut us towards the end there. And I will have to say, you are listening to HCG. Again, my name's Craig, as Egg Crisis 2 on Xbox, Twitter, all those type of things. And this is, along with me is Mike.
Yeah, I'm Mike. I am Mike too on social media and Xbox Gamer Tag and stuff. Come and join us and let's play some games together.
Yep, join us on Facebook. Watch us on Twitch live during our streams. We'll pop on there when we're going to go live.
Yep.
Along the top here, we've got our Facebook page, Instagram, and YouTube accounts there. So get on there and follow us. Along the bottom, obviously, there's our handles for social media and whatnot. So, yep, I'm Craig, and along with me is Mike. You've been listening to HCG. Thanks for listening. And
bye.
Take care. Bye now.